Hello everyone, my name is Harshita Dhyani. I welcome you all to my YouTube channel. This is my first academic video. I hope you like it. The topic that we are going to study today is correlation, and which is a part of statistics. And the main focus of this video will be on Pearson's coefficient of correlation. After introducing you to the topic, I'll show you how to compute that on SPSS. If I get a positive response on this video, I'll definitely make some more videos on different topics related to physical education. So let's get started.
For a better understanding, I have prepared a PowerPoint presentation for you all. So let's get started with the first slide. What is basically correlation? Correlation is tells us how the two variables or two things are related to each other. Okay, it tells us if we increase the values of our first variable, then how the second one will be changing. Okay. Here I have mentioned an example. Let's look at that. The louder the truck horn, the closer the pizza truck is to us. Here the two variables are horn and the distance of the truck from you. These two variables seem to interact with each other. Like if we increase the intensity of we increase the sound of the truck horn, then we know that the truck is near to us. And if the sound of the truck is low, then we know that the truck is far away from us. So there is basically a relationship between both of them. There is an inverse relationship that if we increase the first variable, then the second variable will automatically decrease. Okay? Or if we decrease the first variable, then the second one will automatically increase. Now let's move towards the second slide. So, correlation is a statistical term describing the degree to which two variables or more than two variables move in coordination with one another. Correlation is a part of descriptive statistics as it describes the relationship between two variables. Okay, so two variables move in the same direction, then those variables are said to have positive correlation. It is just like the direct relationship when if the first one is increasing, then the second one will also increase, and if the first one is decreasing, then the second one will also decrease. This is what we call a positive correlation. And in negative correlation, when the first variable is increasing, then the other one will decrease. They will go in opposite direction. Okay, and in positive we'll go in the same direction, either up or down, either increase or decrease. The values of correlation ranges from -1 to +1. Let's move towards the next slide. On the basis of how many variables we are using or how many variables we are correlating, the correlation is of three types: linear correlation, partial correlation, and multiple correlation. The linear correlation or the simple correlation is working with two variables, and other two types, that are partial correlation and multiple correlation, they are working with three or more. In this video, I'll be talking about the simple correlation only. For partial and multiple correlation, I'll make more videos. So, in simple correlation, we study the degree of relationship between two variables. This study is limited to the two variables only. If it becomes 3 or 4, it becomes the case of multiple or the partial correlation. For example, if we are studying about the correlation or the relationship between height and weight, income and expenditure, demand and supply, then this is the case of simple correlation. To study the degree of relationship between two variables, we need to find out the coefficient of correlation. There are three ways to calculate the coefficient of correlation. First is the Pearson's product moment coefficient of correlation that we are going to study uh, in this video. Then there are two other methods that are Spearman's rank coefficient of correlation and Kendall's tau rank coefficient of correlation. The most commonly used coefficient of correlation is the product movement coefficient of correlation. The Pearson's coefficient of correlation is used to measure the degree of relationship between linearly related variables. This formula that you can see on the screen is to compute the Pearson's coefficient of correlation manually. We can also use Excel or SPSS to compute this. In this video, I'll be teaching you how to calculate this on SPSS. So in the next slide, I'll be talking about the steps to follow to compute the coefficient of correlation. So here are the steps that you need to follow while computing the Pearson's product moment coefficient of correlation on SPSS. So without delaying, let's go to SPSS.
First of all, you have to turn on your computer or laptop. Click on the IBM SPSS Statistics Data Editor app. Here you can see the data editor window. It is the default window when you run SPSS. It has two views. First is the data view that you can see here and the variable view. In getting back to the data view, in data view here on the top of the screen you can see the toolbar of SPSS, and these are the pull down menus that are used to perform different functions. Each column in the spreadsheet represents a variable and the rows represents a case or the observation in the spreadsheet. Now getting to variable view. Now this is the variable view. It contains description of each variable attribute. Here I have named the variable as marks1 and marks2. All the default attributes will be automatically filled as you can see here in this video. We can make changes in the attributes of variables and we can also delete them from this variable view. Here I have labeled the variable 1 as English and variable 2 as mathematics. And I'm also changing the alignment of the text to the center. This will make the text appear in the center of the cell. Then I'm changing the measurement to scale measurements. We can also do the same with the help of define variable properties in the data pull down menu. Here you can see in the dialog box. Now we'll go to data view to enter the cases or the observation or the data. So in the first variable 20, 25, 30, 27, 28. Okay, next variable 2, 26, 27, 30, 28, and last one 26. Okay, now you have to go to the analyze pull down menu, then correlate, then bivariate. Here you will see a dialog box. Then you have to select the variables that you want to correlate like this, and fill the check boxes that are required. Kendall, Tao, Spearman, and Pearson. Then you have to go to options. You have the option to calculate the mean and standard deviation also. Then you have to click on OK. Here you can see the output screen, descriptive statistics,
the mean and standard deviation of this. And then the Pearson's coefficient of correlation, that is 0.667. You can also save this file for future purpose. And the extension of the SPSS file is .spv. Sorry, .spv. So this is how it's done on SPSS. Hope you have learned something from the video. If you find this video helpful, then like and share it with your friends.